Please tell me in the future you and Chloe will be more careful.
She broke up with me.
Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage is the first show in the Big Bang Theory franchise not to be centered on Sheldon Cooper. The cast of First Marriage was largely introduced in Young Sheldon, but the characters are now getting the chance to shine. In a few key ways, Mandy's younger brother, Connor McAllister's First Marriage's replacement for Sheldon. Both Connor and Sheldon are likely neurodivergent, though undiagnosed, characters who can be eminently capable in some respects, but never fully independent, even into adulthood. Connor's budding relationship with Chloe in First Marriage Season 1 was a sweet arc that showed a new side to him. However, it comes to an abrupt, devastatingly sad end in Season 2, Episode 5. Connor's breakup would have been too sad to show on screen because of its realness. Connor's breakup with Chloe is far sadder than Sheldon's brief split from Amy in TBBT, because the emotional stakes are brutally personal in a way Sheldon never had to face. When Audrey panics over the pregnancy test in Connor's bathroom, it sets up a comedic misunderstanding, but the humor collapses the moment Connor reveals the truth. Chloe doesn't just end things because of timing or expectations. She tells him she feels relief at the idea of never having children with him. That's a devastating level of emotional rejection, far deeper than Amy's frustration with Sheldon's slow pace. Sheldon's breakup with Amy in TBBT Season 8 was painful, but it was rooted in love. Amy wanted more commitment, not less. Their split happened because Amy felt he wasn't ready to give her what she needed, unaware that he had already purchased an engagement ring. It was a tragic near miss, not a dismantling of the relationship's foundation. Chloe's decision, on the other hand, comes from a sudden, visceral realization that she cannot imagine a future with Connor at all. For Connor, who had always been himself with Chloe, that revelation shatters his sense of security. It's also a harsher blow because of Connor's youth and inexperience. Sheldon was in his 30s when he faced heartbreak, and he had lived most of his life away from his family. Connor is in his early 20s, sheltered, and has never lived anywhere but his parents' house, encountering romantic devastation for the first time. How First Marriage can use Connor even better going forward. First Marriage has a real opportunity to make Connor an even stronger presence in Season 2 and beyond by integrating him more deeply into both family dynamics and story arcs. Connor is essentially a gentler, more artistic counterpart to Sheldon, someone who brings quirky comedic relief without the ego or rigidity. Granted, Season 2, Episode 5 proves that he's also chronically underused, not just by the show, but within the McAllister household itself. No one notices his heartbreak, and no one would have if Audrey hadn't snooped through Connor's trash. That lack of awareness is both sad for the character and a huge opening for richer storytelling. First Marriage can correct this by letting Connor collide with other characters' struggles. Jim's recent retirement leaves him searching for ways to spend his time. Connor's musical talents create the perfect pathway for father-son bonding. A storyline where Jim discovers his own untapped creativity and sees Connor as more than the forgotten McAllister could be both heartfelt and funny. At the same time, Georgie's stress about buying Jim's business could intersect naturally with Connor's artistic side. A commercial jingle would give Georgie the help he needs while pulling Connor into the wider ensemble. By weaving Connor into other characters' arcs, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage can transform Connor from a comic side character into a fully realized part of the show's emotional core. While Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage hasn't brought back Sheldon yet, the Young Sheldon star is all but guaranteed to return now that the spinoff is doing a Christmas episode. By the time Young Sheldon's finale aired, the series was one of the biggest shows on network television. A whopping 9.32 million viewers tuned in to see Sheldon's story conclude. While this was nowhere near the audience that The Big Bang Theory's finale earned, this doesn't come as a major surprise since that finale aired 5 years earlier. After all, MASH's finale outdid The Big Bang Theory's ending to the tune of 80 million viewers, but this was because there were so few TV channels at the time. Similarly, there are now countless streaming options for viewers outside of network TV, and that's without even taking into account the impact of user-generated video sharing platforms like YouTube and TikTok. As such, the ratings for Young Sheldon's finale were undeniably impressive, and the title character was a big part of its success. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2's Christmas episode needs to bring back Sheldon. The spin-off Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage has earned a solid audience of its own, thus proving that viewers do care about the Cooper family even in the absence of The Big Bang Theory's breakout star. That said, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is still a Young Sheldon spinoff at the end of the day. Eventually, the show needs to bring back Sheldon for a cameo, especially when Georgie and Sheldon's future relationship is already set in stone by the original show's canon. In The Big Bang Theory Season 11, Episode 23, The Sibling Realignment, Sheldon and his older brother are reunited, and the pair finally bury a beef that kept them estranged for decades. When they last spoke in Young Sheldon Season 7, the duo were on good terms, which means Georgie and Mandy's first marriage must set up this conflict. Sheldon's Georgie and Mandy's first marriage comeback has been teased numerous times, but the character didn't return in Season 1's Thanksgiving episode, and the spinoff's first outing didn't have a Christmas special. Fortunately, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage's writers posted an Instagram story that featured the show's family home set decorated for Christmas, meaning there will be a holiday special in the show's near future. A Christmas episode means a family reunion, meaning Iain Armitage's Sheldon is almost certain to finally return to the series. Young Sheldon never featured a Christmas episode, but The Big Bang Theory had many. CBS, via Movies Still DB. It would be really weird if a young teenager didn't come home for Christmas, especially when Sheldon didn't come home at any point in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, Season 1. The holiday period also presents the spin-off's creators with plenty of opportunities for organic conflict, since Georgie's and Mandy's families will likely both want to host on Christmas Day. Furthermore, the increasingly pious Mary would most likely want the day to be a very religious affair, something that Mandy and her family might object to. Between this and Missy's teenage rebellion in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage Season 2, the holiday is a recipe for tension even without Sheldon's return. Since there is so much going on between the two families already, it might seem like Season 2's Christmas episode could get away without bringing back Sheldon. After all, Georgie complained that his little brother was never around after his father's death in the sibling realignment. Thus, this would be a good opportunity to prove that point. However, this would be a little too convenient for the spinoff. Although Georgie and Mandy's first marriage doesn't necessarily need Sheldon's presence in Season 2, leaving the character alone in his dorm room at Caltech on Christmas Day when he is only 13 years old would be too grim. Sheldon is a little antisocial, but he has a deep bond with his mother throughout both The Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon, and he also remains close with his twin sister Missy in both shows. It doesn't feel true to the character for him to spend Christmas alone without them, especially when he is still so young. Also, as noted above, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage hasn't depicted the rift developing between Georgie and Sheldon yet. The easiest way to do this would be by bringing Sheldon back, so a Christmas special that doesn't feature his return would be a huge missed storytelling opportunity. Sheldon's Georgie and Mandy's first marriage Season 2 comeback is poorly timed Paramount Express. That said, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage's potential Sheldon comeback is still badly timed. The spinoff just managed to emerge from Young Sheldon's shadow in Season 2 despite sharing much of its cast, so this could be a big step back for the series. Now that viewers are invested in characters like Ruben and Connor, reminding everyone that Sheldon is still away at Caltech could be an unwelcome distraction. Thus, if Young Sheldon's spinoff does bring back its former title character, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage must make it clear that this is just for Christmas, not for good.